It's about 3 p.m. We're headed out. Let's go. First hand we play on stream is hand number 24, and I look down at 9-10 of clubs under the gun. As I said in our previous study video, I kind of lumped ranges together, and 9-10 suited is in our early position range. So I go ahead and raise it to $25. Aki with ace king surprisingly doesn't 3-bet me, just flats. Pocket fives overcall and king 7 on the button overcalls. We head 4 ways to a flop that is queen 10 6. I have a world of backdoor draws, 2 backdoor straight draws, and backdoor flush draw plus middle pair. So I go ahead and continue for a bet of $30. I only get one caller, which is Aki with ace king high, and we head to a turn that is a 6 of clubs. This is a great card for me, brings in one of my backdoor flush draws, and allows me to go ahead and put the pressure on if he has hands like 10x or queen x. If he decides to call, that's okay. We have plenty of equity headed to the river. I make a very large 1.1x pot bet of $175, and he rather quickly makes the call. The river is another queen, which I think is a good card for me, as he's only calling if he has us beat here and folding if he doesn't. In hindsight, though, he may call with ace high here. I clearly in the moment don't know he has ace king, but I check. He ends up checking it back, and we go ahead and scoop this pot up. Spoiler alert, this very next hand is possibly the largest pot I've ever played in my life. If it's not the actual largest, it's very close. And of course, we're in Texas, so it's an Omaha hand. I'm on the button, so I straddle to $6. There are 5 limps, of course, because it's Omaha. I just go ahead and check back the button, and we head 6 ways to a flop that is 5 deuce 6, and we flop the absolute nuts. IT, who is under the gun, leads out for pot now. He actually put out more than pot, but then was forced to take it back. Aki and Just Michael fold. Robin makes the call and Carter makes the call, and I'm on the button, and I feel like with 2 spades out there, I'm just going to call here, as I don't think I can raise anybody off any draws. So that's what I do. I flat the $40, and we head to a turn that is absolutely beautiful, the 10 of clubs. Now IT decides to pot again for $200, and when Robin makes the call, I'm thinking that maybe IT has some kind of spade draw with a set or spade draw with 2 pair. I'm not sure what Robin has, maybe something like 2 pair also, or she could have like the nut spade draw. Carter decides to fold after some thought, and now I think it's time for me to just go ahead and put it in. The pot's big enough, so I announce pot, which I think at this point is larger than my stack, so I'm all in for 910. IT is now posturing and thinking, and at the moment, I clearly don't know that he also has a nut straight, and I'm clearly thinking he did this to hope that Robin also gets in there and makes the call. Robin has a massive draw with spades and an open-ended straight draw, a wrap. I'm surprised she didn't call, which, I mean, I don't think I could fold there now that the pot is this size once I go all in and IT calls. Robin does end up folding, and we find out that we have the same hand and neither of us has a redraw. Although the pot is $2,220, it's going to be a chop. So we run it once, which is another 6. And in the moment, I was like, wait a second. I saw his 6 and I thought maybe he boated up, but he didn't. And we end up chopping this one up for a profit of like $155 each. We are doing $15 double board PLO bomb pots, so the pot is already $120. The graphics are slightly behind on this hand. I have ace, ace, 9, 2 with the ace high flush draw on the top board and the backdoor flush draw on the bottom and a pair of deuces. There is a bet of $25 on the flop and a few calls. I also call, of course, pretty standard, just the peel here one time. As I said, the graphics are a little bit behind. The turn top card is a deuce, and the turn bottom card is the queen of diamonds. Now on the turn, Just Michael bets $75. Pretty standard here for me to just go ahead and peel with the nut draw. G-Man also calls, and so does Aki. The most interesting part is I actually have the best hand on the top board with a pair of aces, but of course I don't know this. The top river is a 10 of clubs and the bottom river is an 8 of spades. We really need those cards to switch. Just Michael betting with absolutely nothing on the turn and getting 2 dream rivers here. He bets again and everyone folds. Here in the low jack, I look down at ace-8 suited and raise it to $20. 2 folds and IT now 3 bets to $60 with the Rockets. This is most likely the very first 3 bet besides the one I did off stream in this game. So when it folds back to me, I insta-muck because I dodge bullets, baby. I kind of wish I had this hand back to do over. There is 1 limp, and it's on me in the hijack with pocket 7s, and I'm definitely going to isolate this hand, and I raise to $25. TCH Bill, who is behind me, makes the call, which brings IT, Aki, and the original limper in the mix, and we go 5 ways to a flop that is King 8 deuce. It checks to me, and we're just 2 multi-way to bet. So I check, and Bill decides to bet $45. It folds back to me, and I'm really contemplating check raising here to 150. I kind of just felt Bill was weak here, and clearly I was right as he has just queen high, but he's also a very tight player, so if he is bluffing, so be it. It's very rare, and I'll let him take this one down. But damn, it sucks to know what your opponent's held after the fact. Oh well, on to the next hand, and well, would you look there. Straddle's on the button, I'm in the small blind, and look at pocket aces. Out of position, as you can see, my face is struggling to figure out a correct size. I make it $30. And Bill in the big blind picks up ace king. What a dream for me, right? No, he just calls. And as I said before, he's a tight player. That's why I folded the last hand. Even though he was bluffing there, it's really surprised. I really think he should be 3-betting here. Now G-Man with queen jack also calls. The rest of the table folds, and we are 3 ways to a dream flop of 9-5-3 rainbow. This board is very dry, and heads up on this board, I would definitely probably be checking or consider checking, but multi-way, I just can't justify it. I feel like I need to start building a pot here, and I decide to bet $65. Probably could have went with a slightly smaller size, but sadly, that makes both of them fold, and we just scoop up this small pot right here. Back to the bomb pot streets, $15 ante, and the graphics are slightly behind because some of the cards did not read. I have ace 3-3 deuce with the deuce 3 of spades. So I flop the flush on the top and the flush draw on the bottom. The cards on the board are wrong. It's actually the queen of clubs. It checks the EOC on my right, and he bets $35. I feel like I can't really raise here. I mean, I could, but I just elect to call because I have the lowest flush possible. Just Michael is the only other caller, and the turns are the queen of hearts and the 4 of spades, giving us another lowest possible flush on both boards. Now both players decide to check to me, and I feel pretty confident I have the only flush, so I go ahead and bet $50 for value, hoping to keep both of them in, but only EOC makes the call. The rivers are the 10 of hearts and the jack of diamonds, pairing the board on the bottom. EOC checks to me, and I'm really unsure how I should be playing this. And I feel like when you are unsure, you shouldn't wager your chips. So I just check back and get half of the pot when EOC shows a full house on the bottom. In this next hand, I'm under the gun and elect to straddle. A fairly new player to the game, now open, raises to $50. It folds back to me, and I have pocket 8s and about 1K effective. Jonathan has me covered. I think I should be making this call, so I do so, and mostly to set mine. So we go heads up to a flop that is ace 4-5. I could possibly donk bet here, but his pre-flop raise was so large, I think donk leading is a bad play. I check, and now he bets $150. Not only is his bet polar, but so is this board. I mean, either he has the ace, or he doesn't, or I have the ace. I could peel and see what he does on the turn, because clearly I don't know he only has queen 10, but the game so far is juicy enough that I don't need to make any crazy plays and get tricky. So I just go ahead and fold this one and allow myself to be bluffed yet again. Now we head back to the Omaha streets. There is 1 limp, and Trevor with queen, queen, jack 9, 1 suit decides to raise it to $15. EOC calls, and in the cutoff, this hand probably should just go in the muck for me, but I decided to get a little loosey-goosey and make the call. G-Man, Jonathan, and just Michael come along 6 ways to a flop that is 5, 8, 10 with 2 hearts. Good flop for my hand. G-Man checks, and Jonathan, flopping top 2 pair, bets full pot of $90. Just Michael folds, and Trevor looks confused, but eventually makes the call. I talked with a few people, and there are differing opinions on what I should do here. I could raise with the nut draw and top pair, plus a backdoor straight draw. When most people bet pot and low stakes, they have the goods. So I just decide to play conservative and call. G-Man folds, and the turn is pure gin, the 6 of hearts. Both players check to me, and you can argue for a bet size of 225, but in my experience, most of the time, if someone is going to call 225 in Omaha on a draw, they will call 325, which is the bet I choose, $325. But Jonathan decides to make the fold with his top 2 pair, as does Trevor, and I take this one down. Now I look down at ace, king of spades in the +1 position and raise the $30. G-Man decides it's a live stream, and if Robbie can win with this hand, he can too, and makes the call with Jack 4. Just Michael in the small blind overcalls. The flop is very nice for us. Queen, Jack, deuce with 2 spades. I have the double nut draw and the backdoor nut draw. Lots of Queen X and Jack X in my opponent's range, so I size up to $70. I get absolutely no action and take it down. This is the last hand of the night I play and end up racking up and cashing out. I am in this game for $675, out for $1,173 for a profit of $408 on our first live stream. Let's go. Thank you so much to TCH Bill for having me on the stream. I had a great time and really appreciate the invite. And shout out to No Gamble, No Future for setting me up with TCH Bill to go on this first live stream of my poker career.